Hello, friends, and welcome back to r/IDontWorkHereLady. It's a new day, which means it's time for 3 new stories. So I hope you've already subscribed to the channel so you don't miss any more videos. Let's get started. And our first story. Fine, but you're stealing their jobs. I love Target. I'm also a stress eater who happens to be waiting on results of a biopsy. See where this is going? So I'm wandering down the candy aisle wearing a green floral dress and yellow cardigan. You know, nothing at all even vaguely resembling a Target employee uniform. I've already grabbed a package of Marshmallow Moon Oreos and a box of Fruit Loops, and am seeking to round things out with some Twizzlers. Old Butt Karen is blocking the area with her cart as she yells into an ancient artifact of a flip phone about what Billy likes and how, no, it can't be the Haribo bears. She remembers the gold package. I see the Twizzlers, but alas, they are physically out of my reach behind the barricade of good old Karen's cart. Excuse me, I say politely, pointing at my quarry. Could you please move your cart? Karen's grandma waves me off as if I were a gnat. Okay, I'm annoyed. I just want to grab my rare junk pile treat and go home to watch Gilmore Girls and forget about the potential nightmare growing in my guts. I'm not exactly a large woman, so I think I can fit in between the red plastic trademark cart and just grab my candy. Wrong. Is it the neon worms then? Proto-Karen brays as she actually effing hip checks me, sort of side-scooting her cart closer to the candy rack and knocking loose several items in the process. Excuse me, she dramatizes into her phone. Some B-word employee with nothing better to do feels like harassing me. She wraps her cloven fist around the lower half of her phone and leans towards me dramatically. Move along now, she scolds with a sarcastic sweetness. I'm a customer. Customer. Go sweep up the back or something. Then she sees my expression. I have RBF at the best of times. Seriously, you should see me in those pictures they snap on roller coasters. So when it's time for the actual B to come out, your girl's ready. Move, I say quietly, but with a definite air of menace. Karen snaps shut her phone, trying to match my fury, but succeeding only in looking like one of those shriveled old apple dolls people force their children to make. I'll have your job for this. Just you wait. I don't work here. I go to push her damn cart out of the way, but she yanks it first, causing a bunch of stuff she knocked off loose to tumble to the ground. I don't know why you need to stock things now. You should have waited until the paying customers were done here. Now look at the mess you'll have to deal with. She chuckled at first, as if I was a child who's gotten a taste of cocoa powder I'd been begging for. Are you crazy or just stupid? I asked her, setting down my cookies and cereal to pick up a handful of Ferrero Rocher and Godiva boxes. It's not like she was going to clean up after herself. I'll have you know the manager of this store and I are good friends. He really will fire you. The manager is a lovely woman I've spoken to often. She wouldn't fire anyone on Karen's say-so. What part of I don't work here are you failing to understand? Finally, Karen the elder seemed to realize that I'm not wearing red, or a name tag, or anything else that would indicate that I work for Target. Not that I turned down the employee discount. If you're not an employee, why are you cleaning up like one? Because I try to act like a decent person. Karen doesn't know how to react to that. I like to think it's because the idea of being a decent human being is an entirely foreign concept to her. She stands there for a moment, watching me face a shelf she herself demolished, clutching her phone like an amulet. After a brief pause, she snaps to and snatches away her cart, vacating the candy aisle, but not before zinging me with this whopper. Get it? Candy humor? Fine, but you're stealing their jobs. How can people be like this? Whenever I knock something down in a store, I'm begging to tell myself, oh no, while I try to relocate it as fast as possible. Honestly, you drop something, you put it on the shelf. It's not that difficult. And our second story. You have to take my order. You're Indian. I'm not. Little backstory here. I'm half black Africans and half white British. Because of this mix, I'm a lighter-skinned biracial. I also have long, straight black hair. Mix it all together and I don't look very African or very British. I look like I'm from Southern Asia and get called Indian or Pakistani a lot. It's fine. I just correct them and most of the time it's nothing. But not this time. Okie pokey, on to the story. Cast: me, mostly European. EA, entitled butt. E, employee, nice dude. So I was hungry and decided I wanted Indian food. There's a local Indian takeout place near me, and I wanted to take a walk, so I went there instead of having it delivered like I normally would. It's a small shop, but it was quite busy, so I waited, and after 10 minutes, I felt a tap on my shoulder. EA: hey, what is chicken sang paneer? Me: oh, I think it's like a spinach and chicken dish in a sweet sauce. I think paneer is sort of a cheese? Like halloumi? I was kind of guessing. I think I tried it once ages ago. You should probably ask. I'm not 100% sure. EA: well, you should know. Typical teens. I just ignored her, and the fact that she cut the line to ask me. The queue was still pretty long. They're understaffed, so the few that were working really hard. EA: you really should help them. I can't believe you're just standing around. You're a pretty useless employee. Me: not really listening, so I didn't catch what she said. What? EA: I said you should be working. I want my order taken. They could at least hire someone who understands English, for F's sake. Me: sorry, I don't work here. I'm tired at this point, so I chose to neglect the doesn't speak English comment. Also, I spoke perfect English before, so it made even less sense. EA: of course you work here. Look at you. God, you're lazy. You should be fired. Take my order. She started ranting and then started listing her order, all whilst I repeated that I don't work here. Other customers were staring, but my town sucks. No one was going to help me. Me: I don't work here. EA: of course you do. You're Indian. This is an Indian. I'm not stupid. Me: please. I'm not Indian. I don't work here. I can't serve you. EA: don't lie to me. You are Indian. You just don't want to do your job. I'm going to speak to your manager. Hopefully he won't be a effing Indian. This really confused me. She implied that only Indians worked here, then asked for a non-Indian staff member. At this point, she was causing a commotion, so an actual employee came over. Note, this person is not Indian, nor are any of the staff that I can see. E: is there a problem? EA: yeah, this useless employee won't do her job. E: sorry, but this person doesn't work for us. She's a customer like yourself. EA: don't BS me. She's Indian. She works here. Me: I'm not Indian. I'm British. E: okay, I'm going to have to ask you to leave. You're being racist. 1, you don't have to be Indian to work here. 2, the lady says she isn't Indian and that she doesn't work here. EA: I want my food. You can't kick me out. E: if you don't leave, I'll call the police for harassment. EA proceeds to rush at the door at the mention of police, but not without shouting swears and calling me a effing N-word. The employee says that he'll try to have her banned from the shop. He also gave me free papadums, so overall, wasn't the worst day. Why these people think someone on the clock would lie about working there does not make any sense. And a dessert story for today. She obviously doesn't work here, Mom. This isn't one of those get berated by Karen stories. It's actually kind of funny. Also, I'm on mobile and have no idea how formatting works yet, so sorry in advance. Not sure if this is important, but we're both 16. So about a month ago, my friend, after weeks of convincing her parents to let her have a crested gecko, finally got the okay from them so long as she went out and bought all the supplies herself, since their work schedules wouldn't allow them to go with and help. We don't have anywhere to buy gecko supplies where I live. Nearest place is 50 minutes away, so she invited me to go and we made a day out of it. Anyways, the only place anywhere near us that had stuff for geckos was the PetSmart of the nearby city, so we had no choice but to go there. My mom also gave me $20 to buy my dog a new rubber Kong bone since he had destroyed his old one, a little important later. Once we got to PetSmart, we started filling a cart up with all the supplies she would need for her gecko based on the research she'd done. We got to where the heat lamps were, and she was stumped. There were a bunch of different ones, and she couldn't remember exactly which one she needed. I assured her it was no problem. She could do a quick Google search, and I would go find the bone for my dog real quick. With that, I left to go to the other side of the store. I hadn't been to this PetSmart in a while, so I wasn't exactly sure where these bones were or if they even had them since we ordered his last one online. I just walked to the dog toy section and started looking. In the middle of my endeavor, I accidentally hit a few things off one of the racks, so I started to pick them back up. I noticed a lady watching me out of the corner of my eye, and I thought that was a little strange, but I'm not one for confrontation, so I just decided to let it slide. Besides, I figured she probably wasn't even looking at me, just scanning the aisle. When I finished, I found the dog bone and happily retreated out of the aisle, where I almost ran into the lady who was watching me and had an amazing interaction with her and her daughter. Me. Oh, sorry, didn't mean to almost hit you. Nice lady. Oh, no worries. I did have a question for you, though. Me. Confused. Oh? Nice lady. I was wondering how much your doggy pools cost. I wanted to buy one, but I couldn't find the price at all. Now, it's important to mention that the PetSmart uniform is primarily a dark blue shirt and khaki or black pants, and I was wearing a red t-shirt with black athletic shorts and my beautiful, awful tie-dye Crocs. Me. Oh, I'm sorry, I don't work here. I was just buying a bone for my dog. Nice lady, clearly embarrassed. Oh no, I'm really sorry about that. I saw you putting the toys on the shelf and just figured you were refilling it. Me. Oh, it's all right. There's an employee over there, though, who'd be able to help you. She thanked me and apologized again, turned to go to the employee, and her daughter eyed me, then turning to follow her mom said, Mom, I love you, but she clearly doesn't work here. I don't think athletic shorts and Crocs are part of the uniform. As soon as she said that, I started laughing and walked back to find my friend, who had picked out the perfect heat lamp. I told her what had happened, and we still laugh about it occasionally. She laughed when I told her I was going to post it on this sub. So, yeah, it was refreshing not to have some Karen argue that I do work there. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video to the end, and I'll see you in the next one.